The film begins with a flashback to 1964. Ed and Lorraine Warren are investigating a curious antique mirror inside a curiosity shop. As Lorraine touches the mirror, it cracks. She suddenly collapses, experiencing a violent vision of a dark entity and her unborn child. Ed rushes her to the hospital, realizing that something supernatural is connected to the mirror and to their young daughter Judy's birth. The scene then jumps ahead to 1986, some years later, where Ed and Lorraine have largely stepped back from their demon hunting work. Their daughter Judy is now grown and dealing with her own psychic sensitivities. Meanwhile, the massive blue-collar family of the Smurl family moves into a large 2-story house in West Pittston, Pennsylvania. The family bring together Jack and Janet, and their 4 daughters, Dawn, Heather, and twins Karen and Shannon. That evening, the Smurl family gathers around the dinner table, chatting and laughing as the grandparents present Dawn with a wrapped gift. She's just completed her confirmation at the church, and they wanted to give her something special. When Dawn unwraps it, it's an old mirror framed in dark wood. They talk about how beautiful it looks, completely unaware of the sinister history attached to it. Months later, life appears normal again. In a lecture hall filled with theology students, Ed and Lorraine stand at the front of the class. Lorraine speaks calmly about the nature of demonic possession and how it feeds on fear, while Ed uses slides of their past cases, including the Perrin farmhouse and the Enfield poltergeist. One curious student raises her hand and asks why they no longer take new possession cases. Ed exchanges a knowing look with Lorraine before he answers that, after decades of dealing with darkness, they've decided to focus on family. That evening, the Warrens sit together at a small restaurant, enjoying a rare quiet meal. Judy is now an adult, smiling warmly as she talks about her father's upcoming birthday party. She asks if she can invite her boyfriend, Tony. Lorraine answers on behalf of Ed and agrees, happy to see her daughter in love. As the waiter takes their orders, Lorraine suddenly freezes. Her supernatural gifts hear voices. Lorraine's eyes then shift toward Judy, whose gifts are also tuned in. Suddenly, Lorraine sees a ghost's hand resting on Judy's shoulder, but vanishes when she's in shock. The next morning, back at the Smurl residence, Janet is sorting through a pile of laundry. The house is quiet, as she does her chores. Later, she picks up the phone to make a call when suddenly, the cord jerks from her hand. She frowns, assuming it's one of her daughters playing around. The cord tightens again, as if being pulled into the pantry. Irritated, she calls out for them to stop, but when she turns, both of the girls rush in from outside, still laughing from playing in the yard. Janet's face drains of color. She walks toward the pantry slowly, and sees no one. That night, Jack returns home from work, covered in dust and grease. The family gathers for dinner again, but something feels different. Later in the girls' bedroom, Dawn tells her sister that she keeps waking up to the sound of whispering near the mirror. Heather admits she feels sick every time she looks at it. Frightened, they decide to drag the mirror outside and dump it by the trash cans, hoping it'll take the strange feeling with it. By morning, garbage collectors are making their rounds. They throw the mirror into the back of the truck, and it shatters loudly. At that exact moment inside the house, Dawn clutches her stomach and collapses, vomiting violently. Her parents rush to her side as she begins to cough up blood and shards of glass mixed in with it. Meanwhile, at the Warrens' home, the mood couldn't be more different. It's Ed's birthday party, and the house is filled with friends, family, and the smell of cake. Judy arrives with Tony, who's clearly nervous about meeting her parents. Lorraine greets him warmly, while Ed sizes him up with that familiar protective father look. Even Father Gordon, their old friend, is there, offering Tony a kind handshake. Later, Judy wanders into her childhood bedroom. Suddenly, the air shifts and behind her sits the infamous doll, Annabelle, staring blankly with her cracked porcelain face. Judy freezes, remembering the stories her parents told her. But when she turns around, the doll is gone. Sunlight floods the room again, as if nothing had happened. Downstairs, Tony takes a deep breath and approaches Ed and Lorraine. He nervously pulls out a small ring box, saying he knows it might be too soon, but he wants their blessing to marry Judy. Lorraine studies him for a moment, then smiles softly and tells him that if he truly loves her, they'll give him their blessing. Ed reluctantly nods in agreement. Just then, Judy walks in, sees the ring, and before Tony can even finish asking, she blurts out yes, laughing through happy tears as she hugs him. Ed and Lorraine watch them, with pride in their eyes. That evening, tension fills the Smurl household. The kids are on edge, no longer able to shrug off the strange noises, the whispers, or the shadowy figures that seem to move in their peripheral vision. Dawn pleads with her father to do something. Jack tells them he already wrote a letter to Ed and Lorraine, hoping they might help. But his calm tone only frustrates Dawn, who feels her father isn't treating the situation with enough urgency. Later that night, Jack is fast asleep when his breathing begins to grow shallow. His body levitates off the bed, jerking violently as unseen hands drag him upward. Downstairs, Heather can't sleep. She turns on the TV and replays footage from Dawn's confirmation party. At first, it seems normal, but as she slows the video, she notices something strange. When Dawn blew out her candles, the flames flickered unnaturally, and the cake seemed to be pushed by an invisible force. Heather freezes the frame and zooms in. Next to Dawn, a distorted face appears for only a second. Before she can react, Heather sees a figure rush up towards her, trying to kill her. Janet rushes downstairs to find Heather collapsed on the floor, trembling and crying. Heather can barely speak but tells her mother that something is in the house. Janet looks around, her heart pounding, but sees nothing. The next day, desperate and terrified, the Smurl family invites local reporters to their home. Cameras flash as Jack and Janet sit together on their couch, explaining the strange events, hoping someone will hear their story and offer help. The footage airs, catching the attention of Father Gordon, who arrives at the Smurl home. As he steps out of his car, paramedics are carrying the kid's grandmother out on a stretcher. She was pushed by something on the stairs. Inside, Gordon moves carefully from room to room, sprinkling holy water and reciting blessings. When he reaches the basement, he feels something shift. The temperature drops. On the stairs behind him, he notices smoke, as if embers burning. Father Gordon backs away, realizing the evil presence is stronger than he thought. He rushes upstairs, shaken, knowing this is beyond his power. Later, he goes straight to the high court of the church, determined to report what he's seen. He's told the high priest is in a meeting and asked to wait. Then, slowly, the door handle begins to turn and darkness swallows the room. Gordon grips his crucifix and starts praying, but the cross burns red hot in his hand. He screams as it sears his skin. Suddenly, when the door opens again, Father Gordon is possessed and killed. The following day, a funeral is held. Mourners including Ed, Lorraine, Judy, and Tony are there. As the service ends, Judy steps forward, placing her hand gently on the casket. The moment she touches it, a chilling energy floods her body, flashes of the Smurl house, and the presence in the basement. The next day, the Warrens travel to the Smurl residence. The moment they enter, Lorraine feels the suffocating darkness clinging to the walls. She turns to Judy, her expression full of worry, and whispers that they shouldn't stay, but Judy insists on helping. Reluctantly, Ed and Lorraine agree and begin questioning the Smurls about when and how the disturbances started. Later, Lorraine moves upstairs alone. She steps into the girl's bedroom and kneels to look under the bed, but sees nothing. Soon, she notices a lump under the covers slowly moving, then it disappears. Lorraine closes her eyes, focusing her psychic senses. Whispers fill the room, fragments of pain and betrayal. She returns to Ed and tells him what she's learned. There are 3 spirits haunting the home: a woman who had an affair, her elderly mother, and the enraged husband who murdered them both. But beneath them, Lorraine says, hides something older and far stronger. Back upstairs, Judy hears her mother's voice calling her to the attic. She hesitates but answers, climbing the narrow stairs. When she reaches the top, the attic is empty. Then, in the corner, she sees it, the same mirror the girls threw away months earlier. Drawn to it, Judy reaches out and touches the cracked glass. The instant her fingers brush it, words appear faintly across the wall behind her written, "Did you miss me?" Terrified, Judy backs away and turns to leave, but a voice calls her name again. She spins around and sees Annabelle sitting on a chair, staring at her. Judy screams and tumbles down the stairs. Ed and Lorraine rush to her aid. When they follow her gaze back up, they find the mirror still intact, glowing faintly with a dark aura. Lorraine touches it and gasps, realizing it's the same cursed mirror from their past, the one that nearly cost her and Ed their daughter before she was born. She explains to the Smurls that the mirror doesn't just contain a spirit, it is a vessel for a demon itself, one they once encountered years ago. Out of fear, they never went back to finish what they started. Now it's returned stronger than before. Determined to protect the family, Ed decides to take the mirror home, to lock it safely in their artifact room. But as he and Jack lift it from the attic, it grows heavier, resisting them. Suddenly, the straps securing it snap. The mirror crashes forward, pinning Jack to the floor below. Meanwhile, Judy suddenly gets sick, as her mom tries to figure out what's going on. Later, Judy is no longer in bed. Lorraine finds her sitting in the corner, whispering softly. When she gets closer, Judy's head turns slowly, her eyes black and devilish. Lorraine realizes the demon has possessed her daughter. Judy lunges and attacks the Smurl family, her strength unnatural. Ed rushes forward, shouting her name, begging her to fight it. She grabs his chest, and his body convulses as his heartbeat slows. Meanwhile, Lorraine is pushed to the basement, and when she slowly gets up, a figure with an axe comes down, with the instant to kill her. Before he can strike, Tony bursts in and saves her. Lorraine grabs the Bible, and together they run upstairs to find Judy suspended in the attic, hanging by a rope. They cut her down just in time as the mirror rises into the air, spinning violently. Ed opens his scorched Bible and reads aloud, commanding the demon to return to hell. The pages burst into flames, the words erased. Lorraine turns to Judy, shouting that she's stronger than it, that she shouldn't be afraid. Holding her daughter's hand, they both channel their energy. The mirror shatters, releasing a blinding light that tears through the room. When it fades, the house is silent again, the evil is gone. Years later, peace returns to the Smurl home. The family stays, living quietly, never again haunted by shadows or whispers. The mirror is locked away by Ed, sealed with the rest of his cursed artifacts. Months later, sunlight streams through a church as Judy walks down the aisle on her wedding day, holding her father's arm. Ed smiles proudly as he gives her away to Tony. Family and friends are in attendance, as they celebrate a beautiful union of Judy and Tony. Make sure to like, comment and subscribe for more notifications. Until next time. See you soon.